Good afternoon. Wednesday's headlines. Pat Phoenix, Coronation Street's Elsie Tanner, has died. She was 62. She'd been in hospital in Manchester with lung cancer for the last 3 weeks. And in South Africa, with 170 dead in the gold mine disaster, friends and colleagues wait to discover the fate of the 14 still believed trapped underground.
Winding up the SDP conference in Harrogate, party leader David Owen says the alliance will be in government after the next election to tackle poverty by radical tax reform. We'll be talking to him. The government and the insurance industry get together to encourage better driving and fewer accidents. And back to the 50s with the Princess of Wales' stunning new hairdo.
The actress Pat Phoenix has died in hospital. She was 62 and had lung cancer. Miss Phoenix was best known and best loved for her role as Elsie Tanner in the television series Coronation Street. She played it for more than 20 years and became one of the most popular characters on British television. Pat Phoenix was adored by her fans who remained faithful to the end. Paul Craven has been at the hospital in Cheadle near Manchester, where she died. That report is coming up now.
Pat Phoenix had been in the private Alexandra Hospital at Cheadle near Manchester for 3 weeks. She died from lung cancer. Her husband of 7 days, the actor Tony Booth, had been at her bedside. A statement from the hospital said Miss Phoenix died at 8:45 this morning. She had been sleeping peacefully for many hours and died with the due dignity with which we would all like to go. Her death had been pain-free.
Before Coronation Street, Pat Phoenix was virtually unknown. After she left the series 2 years ago, she appeared in stage plays and in television dramas. But as Peter Main reports to the public, she always remained Elsie Tanner, the brassy brunette with a heart of gold.
Kids. I'm sick to death of them cluttering about in my backing.
There's nowhere else for them to play.
Well, the council should do something about it.
By the time Pat Phoenix appeared in the first episode of Coronation Street in 1960, she'd already been in show business for more than 2 decades. She'd played a string of small parts in her native Northwest and London's West End, never quite making the big time. Then she got the part of Elsie Tanner in the series that was to become known to millions of viewers simply as The Street.
You know when I said I was taking the name of Elsie Tanner again?
What's that got to do with you getting a job over the road?
Well, it wasn't just a home. It meant dropping Elsie out and all the things that go with it. So the job was part of it.
You won't do much better, you know.
I know, but I still need to think about it.
If you turn that down, where do you go from here?
I don't know. But I tell you something, we're going to have a hell of a time finding out.
There were so many things that were demanded by Pat on behalf of all the other actors in the street. There were certain things that weren't happening for us, and so she would march up to the producer's office and say, hey, look, if this thing doesn't happen, you haven't got a show, Buster, you know, and they'd say, all right. They were a bit scared of her. And fair enough, you know, she was quite a formidable lady. But once you knew her, she was a pussycat, you know, she was a darling underneath. She was a little girl pretending to be a big girl, I think.
And you obviously admired her a lot.
I loved her.
How do you think she would like to be remembered?
And I'm fairly sure that I'm right in saying this, that she would like to be remembered for the first 5 years of Coronation Street, when it was really a cracking show. And I'm not merely saying that because we were in it, but we were creating every day. We had people new.
And it was live?
It was live for 7 years. I mean, we had the new writers were coming in every week. I mean, the sound engineers grew up with us, the lighting boys grew up with us, directors trained on our show. It was terribly exciting then. And that is the time that Elsie Tanner was right up at the top of the tree.
To street watchers, Pat Phoenix was Elsie Tanner. Sadly, her private life had a touch of soap opera about it too. There were 2 unsuccessful marriages, the second in 1972 to Alan Browning, her screen husband in The Street. After just 5 years, they separated. For the last 6 years, her constant companion was the actor Tony Booth. They married in hospital 3 weeks after she was taken ill. Pat Phoenix left Coronation Street in 1984. Some said the series couldn't last without her, though she always said the show that made her a star would survive. But for many viewers, the day Elsie Tanner turned her back on the street, things were never quite the same again.
I won't bother asking you for an apology, Mrs. Walker, though some folk might. I'll just get out of here and we won't be coming back.
Pat Phoenix hailed as the original queen of soap, who died peacefully in hospital this morning. Julie Goodyear, who plays Bet Lynch in Coronation Street, said she was the most warm-hearted, glamorous and loving lady. William Roach, who played Ken Barlow alongside Pat Phoenix for 22 years, said, "Pat always lived in style and she went out in style. We shall all miss her."